Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble dungeon guide video, I'm going to take a look at Deadmines on a Beast Week and more specifically this Hogger army that I used to clear a level 23 dungeon. First, a quick recap of the boss mechanics. The theme of Deadmines is free stuff. First boss, Mr. Smite, has lots of free stuff. These are free, these are free, these are free. There's going to be Stonehoof Torrents that are free. And yeah, so you're going up against quite overwhelming odds. There's a couple of gold veins here, there's a gold vein over there, there's a pair of meeting stones, and that is the map. And the way I like to play this map, I like to take this meeting stone and I like to push from here. So I control these two gold veins, I can mine from these, and I push towards Smite from here. And that's basically the plan. I only defend the other side. I don't really go anywhere over there. There's a torrent that walks through this pipe. One way to beat it is to place whelpex over there. So the torrent's going to charge into whelpex and then the whelps are going to shoot at it. Or you can have some tanky minis that can also fight against it. I like to turn this arrow so that whenever I send minis here to defend, they will go over the bridge and then they will join the main assault. This other arrow can be used to get something to the meeting stone, but otherwise you just send them over here. These can be killed, for example, with whelpex as well, or just with a big assault and get at Smite and try to win. The second boss, Cookie, continues the same theme of free stuff, because Cookie gets these huge swarms of minis for free. They come from this side, stay here for a while, Cookie is going to give them an additional level, and then they come from here. They also come from this side, stay for a while, Cookie gives them a level, and they come through here. So you need a way to deal with these swarms. There's basically three alternatives. Actually, maybe there's only two alternatives now. The Safe Pilot has been nerfed, because it's been Safe Pilot plus whelpex, or Blizzard, or Living Bomb. My favorite is the Living Bomb, because if you Living Bomb them while they're near Cookie, Cookie is also going to get damaged. If you Living Bomb them while they're near a tower, the tower is going to get damaged. Depending on the level of your Living Bomb, you might even be able to take towers like that. And that just gives you a good way to get some towers. Other than that, the map includes a couple of chests, a couple of gold veins. Typically, I try to grab the chests at the opening and then attack this tower and this tower as soon as possible. I also try to send a miner here as soon as possible because there's 2 nuggets of gold right there. So if I can send a miner out there early, then it's going to just give me more gold. With all of this gold, I can then afford to do something like Living Bomb here when this squad is moving in. Those Living Bombs, get some towers, then start assaulting Cookie, and that's the second map. And the third boss, Sneed, has his own take on free stuff, because Sneed has these platforms. And when these platforms are sparkly like this, then the next mini that's going to step on them is going to be destroyed, and 5 copies of it are going to come down here. So Sneed has Molten Giants, for example, so if a Molten Giant steps here and gets copied, then you have to deal with 5 Molten Giants, or your own minis. So you can try to drop some unbounds here, you can also keep sending stuff from here, for example, Kobold Miners that are going to mine here and then walk over there, so you can try to get some of your own weaker minis copied to prevent more powerful minis being copied. That's the main Sneed mechanic. Other than that, there's a couple of gold veins, there's a chest over there and another chest over there. I like to attack here, take this tower first, then take this tower and then push from here towards Sneed and then just win from there. But the main problem is usually these platforms. One tip for the platforms is that this bridge is hugely important, because everything comes down over here. So if you have ranged units on the bridge, then they can shoot down from the bridge and then they can just quickly kill anything that comes out. So that can help you control even those Molten Giants. So this is the Hogger army that I have used. I'm using Angry Chickens, I'm using Chimera, I'm using Quillboar, Flameburst Whelp Eggs, Footmen, and Living Bomb. And what do all of these do? Well, first map, Smite. Smite is the hardest map. So for Smite, chickens are great against torrents, they're great against prowlers, they can sometimes handle some bears and stuff. So just wonderful things. Flameburst Whelpex, you can put them on the pipe so that they will kill the torrent as well. That's one option. You can put them where the stealth troll is, they can kill those. You can drop them on trolls, you can drop them on mountaineers to kill the ranged units so that chickens have more room. Just incredibly flexible. We have a good tank in Footmen. Footmen are just really strong at tanking because most damage is physical damage. And Chimera complements the Footmen really well, because Chimera is also pretty slow, so it comes nicely after the Footmen. If you use Harpies, they tend to go ahead of the Footmen, and then you have to use your Quillboar to save them. But Chimera is fine coming behind the Footmen, and Chimera actually also deals a lot of damage. Living Bomb is not that necessary for the first one. Quillbore grabs the right stone for you and just use for distraction whenever needed. So that's the first boss, Smite. Then there's Cookie, and for Cookie we have Living Bomb the swarms, preferably close to Cookie, so Cookie also takes damage, or close to towers, so towers take damage. Chickens are really good at opening chests rapidly. They're not so good against Cookie's minions because there's gnolls and gnolls kill chickens in a single hit. But we do have footmen, and then we have a little bit of anti-air in the form of Chimera, and we also have Whelpex. Whelpex can be used to take towers, Whelpex also Quillbore to distract. So you should be able to take a couple of towers and just Living Bomb all the big packs and then just kill Cookie. And then finally Sneed. Yeah, Sneed. That copying machine. Try to send kobolds down the middle, chickens down the middle so that some of those get copied. Drop Quillbores so that Quillbores get copied. And you can try to push with the footmen and the Chimera. And sometimes you get somewhere with that, but then you also have, because you have Whelpex and you have Quillbore, so you also have some unbound means to fight against Sneed. So you can just drop Whelpex on Sneed, Sneed will explode them, drop Quillbore to tank, and they will get a couple of hits in maybe, and that sort of stuff. And this is what it all looks like in action. So here we go, Hogger and Deadmines at minus 2.7 levels. I'm trying to get the right stone, but sadly this time the AI decides to also go for the right stone, so it's going to be a battle for that one. In general, Hogger is my least favorite leader out of the beast leaders. Take here, Hogger doesn't have a tank slot, it doesn't have an elemental slot, it can't buff abominations, it can't buff fire elementals. The best tank that it can buff is Footman. So Footman it is, Footman we're using here, and with Footman we trust. And we're just trying to get a good push with the Footman and the Chimeras. At Hogger, Chimera is going to deal a ton of damage because of the quadruple poison now that the Chimera has the poison talent, so that poison is just going to eat up Smite once we can get into combat there. But we also need to defend from the other side. We have multiple options to fight against the Tauren. Footmen can fight against it, Whelpex can be positioned on the pipe, chickens can fight against it, so a whole bunch of ways. I have the unstable concoction, so when my minis die they explode and poison, and I'm trying to keep those poison stacks on that Smite. We got a bunch of poison stacks on the Smite from the chickens, and we have a couple of Chimeras, and Chimera is actually pretty sturdy, and look at that poison just ate away Mr. Smite. Next up we have Cookie. I managed to pick up the relic to make my tanks a little bit cheaper, so that's always welcome. I'm still not going to deploy a lot of Hogger here, because Hogger just isn't that good. I sent a miner to the right at the start. I like to use chickens to open the chests. Chickens are really fast at opening the chests, so now I'm trying to get some chickens to go over there, and I got so much code from the chests and from the miner that I can easily get a Living Bomb going, get my Footman in, get my Chimera in. Just a big assault. Chickens together with the Quillbore. Quillbore protected the chickens, and chickens just deleted that tower. And now with the use of Whelpex, Footman, Chimera, boom, that's probably the best start that I have ever had for this map. 2 towers taken in 50 seconds. And yeah, from here all we need is to save a little bit of gold. Now I was a little late here. I should have Living Bombed them while they were near Cookie, so that Cookie would have taken some damage. Here I could try to Living Bomb them closer to the tower to get even more damage to the tower itself, but I figured it wouldn't be necessary. Now I'm going to lose that miner, sadly, to the almost dead prowler. Should have then used the chickens to grab the chests. I tried to use chickens to protect the miner, but that was too late. Well, then I figure maybe some Whelpex can actually take that 3rd tower for me. Now that everything is going well, then hey, when life gives you all the towers, then you take all the towers. Another pack is coming, and we're ready with the Living Bomb. Here goes the Living Bomb, boom. And how do you see the damage Cookie just took there? So when you explode them close to Cookie, Cookie also takes damage, which is wonderful. Using chickens to open some chests, and that pack is almost dead, so no worries there whatsoever. Depending on the level of your Living Bomb, you may need a little bit more damage on them afterwards, but it's just going phenomenally well right now. Yeah, it's really, really hard to lose from here. I do need to get a little bit of pressure on Cookie. And Cookie doesn't respect the footmen very much. Cookie is just going to poison them, so their armor doesn't help against that. So footmen will take a ton of damage. And as you can see, they're not super good at tanking Cookie. But the Living Bomb, as you can see, just the Living Bomb damage, if we can consistently keep pushing the Living Bomb while the pack is next to Cookie, then already those Living Bombs are going to deal majority of Cookie's health in damage. And then all we need is to get a little bit more in, and well, that's it. And we have stuff like Welbex. Here I'm using Hogger just as a chest opener, because it was the cheapest way I had to open some chests. Poor Hogger, relegated to a fairly auxiliary role in this one. I guess I could have just dropped some Welbex on Cookie at this point. Cookie is quite low in health, so that should have already been sufficient to kill Cookie. But I'm preparing an assault from this side, because I know that the next pack is coming from left, so I wanted the assault to coming from right, so that they wouldn't fight against that pack, but they would get to Cookie. But Living Bomb just killed Cookie already. And finally we're up against Sneed, and this is a real test to your situational awareness, because you have to keep an eye on the platforms. The platforms, when they sparkle, they copy stuff. They always copy that sapper at the start, then they should copy a cobalt miner next, and then follow that. After that one there's going to be a molten giant copy, unless you intervene somehow. So you have to keep an eye on the platforms. You want to keep an eye on this left tower. You need to take that left tower, otherwise there's going to be attacks from there. There are also going to be sometimes attacks from the right tower, so you can't even see it, but from there, from the right side, so attacks from there, and you also need to keep an eye on those. So that's just so many things to keep an eye on. Footman and Chimera did a great job in grabbing that, and I was aware enough so that I dropped a Quillbore on the platform so that the Molten Giant didn't get copied. Now I'm using the Chimera here for dual purpose. Chimera is going to stop at the bridge, and it's going to shoot at the Molten Giant, but it's also going to go forward to the right and keep fighting there. But now I was a little bit surprised by the Ogre Mage plus Defiance Bandits. So yeah, you have to keep an eye on also on the right side, and you have to keep an eye on the bridge, and you have to keep an eye on the platforms. Lots of targets there. Alright, now platforms are quiet, so a moment's respite. Also the Footmen and the Chimera are doing well. I drop another Quillbore on the platform, I get that Quillbore copied. I should have actually looked a little bit deeper into what is going to get copied, otherwise I could have afforded to let the Troll get copied because I had Footmen there. Yeah, so that Quillbore was actually unnecessary. So just that situational awareness and how incredibly much situational awareness you need in this one. And now we managed to get a chicken copied, wonderful, and then we're going to try to push. Now that the platforms are on cooldown, can we get some stuff across? Chimera and the Footman are going, but Chimera is now taking a bit of an awkward route. Chimera meeting that Ogre Mage, that was not ideal. It was placed on a bit of a different route than the Footman. Now some Footmen got copied, and there's Molten Giants coming, there's Stonehoof Torrents coming, so now everything is hanging in balance. We can still potentially lose this, but chickens are doing a phenomenal job here. I'm just sending some Footmen out there down below. We are fighting against Sneed, but we're not quite fighting against Sneed well enough. Sneed is not going to die to that, sadly. I really would have wanted it, but no. But I can send chickens again. Get a chicken copied. Yes, that's perfection, getting a chicken copied. But as you can see, chickens just instantly died to Sneed, so that's the downside. But now that the platform is on a cooldown again, we can send some Footmen in. And at this point I'm starting to get some unbound spam in. Get in Welpex, get in Quillbore. Welpex are going to shoot at, as you can see, Sneed's health is going down. Welpex are doing their job. They're shooting at Sneed from behind, while the Quillbore tanks, but obviously, eventually, they will die. Can't help that. Now we're meeting a whole bunch of Ogre Mages. I'm not sure if I should have tried to defend the tower here, or if I should have just went for the Sneed. I'm a little uncertain. Getting a Batrider copied was not great. I don't currently have anything that can truly hurt a Batrider. But it is overtime, so at this point I decided, alright, let's just start jamming down some stuff. Well, I could do it a little bit faster, of course. I'm still a little bit uncertain there. And get... No, wrong side for the eggs. The eggs needed to be on top of the troll. Alright. But yeah, it is very hectic at this point. But look at that Chimera also doing a splendid job there defending the tower. So that not too much stuff is coming in. And now I just need to kill Sneed with Unbounce. That's basically... That's the story. But the Ogre Mage, no! Just two very unfortunate Unbound drops. But the third time is the charm, and this Unbound drop kills Sneed, and boom, that's the dungeon with Hogger. With hardly Hogger being even seen. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.